guys, this is Mr. Joshy J, and in today's video, Let's Talk Manchester United. I am going to talk about something positive for a change about my beautiful football club, because recently we've been talking nothing about negative stuff about their football club. So let's turn it up a notch and talk about the positive things, why I started following this football club and that, who are my favourite players are. So right, my favourite Manchester United players of all time, well, I couldn't fit them all onto the thumbnail, but I've got loads. David Beckham, oh my goodness I absolutely loved David Beckham. He was one player who just come along to the scene, got promoted from the youth academy, and his free kicks were just absolutely out of this world, honestly. Now, obviously, when he's playing in the 90s, I wasn't really following football then, and I didn't start supporting the team until about the late 90s, so yeah, I miss David Beckham's first years, but looking back on old footage and that on YouTube, wow, he could score some free kicks, David Beckham. Too right he could. Obviously, another one of my favourites was the little ginger fella, Paul Scholes. Wow. He could never tackle properly, and he used to get criticised a lot, but how could you not like Paul Scholes? He could whip the ball into the box. For a forward to get onto it, it's just like absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, when he come back for a second spell, he come out of retirement. I remember out of nowhere, he come back and out of retirement and just made a reappearance in that Manchester derby in the FA Cup. My dad went to me, Josh, Paul Scholes is on the bench. I was thinking, excuse me. I had to go downstairs and witness to myself on the build-up, and there he was, like, warming up. I just couldn't believe it. It's like, I thought you retired, mate, but then he was out of retirement. That's just absolutely amazing. But after he came out of retirement, his tackling was actually much better. It's mad. Why couldn't he tackle properly in his prime years? I don't know, but yeah, the little ginger fella, Paul Scholes, I absolutely loved him. What a legend. And another one, Ryan Giggs. He was another one who could pass the ball and whip it into the box. You see Manchester United players these days, and they can do nowhere near what Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs could do, etc. Like the class of 92. They were something else. They really were. Giggs, as I said, good at crossing the ball, and that goal he scored against Arsenal in the FA Cup to knock Arsenal out. Oh my goodness me, what a goal. And even against Barcelona as well in the Champions League, I never forget. I think it was 2008, the year we won it. He scored an epic goal to knock Barcelona out of the Champions League. That will forever be one of my favourite moments from Ryan Giggs, honestly. Now, a lot of stuff has happened with Ryan Giggs off the pitch since he's retired, but focus about what he did on the pitch. He's just absolutely incredible, in my opinion, Ryan Giggs. Another one of my favourite Manchester United players has to be Ruud van Nistelrooy. What a forward he was. The amount of goals he scored. He's good at scoring penalties, but in that 2003-2004 season, he so easily could have stopped Arsenal doing the Invincibles. He missed the penalty. If he scored that, then he would have stopped Arsenal from making history. But we still brought an end to Arsenal's invincible run, so yeah. But yeah, Ruud van Nistelrooy, what a player. The attitude he cared for that Manchester United badge. The same cannot be said about players these days. Back then, you had players who cared about that Manchester United badge. Yeah, so Ruud van Nistelrooy, what a quality player he was, honestly. I just loved watching him. I remember when we signed him, right, he come along to the scene and he's absolutely fantastic. But I never realised we wanted to sign him originally while he was injured. Sorry about that. I had a hair on my nose irritating me. But yeah, we tried to sign him when he was injured. So we pulled out and we waited until he was fit and then we signed him. So yeah, it's brilliant. Another one of my favourite anchor forwards has to be Wayne Rooney. I mean, oh my goodness me. I loved and adored Wayne Rooney. Just his passion. He got sent off a few times because he went a bit too far, like swearing at the referee. I think the lowest point in his career was when he chucks the captain's armband down for England or for Manchester United. That was one of the low points. So his high point, I'll never ever forget, was beating Bobby Charlton's goal scoring record. And then back then, he literally disappeared because Mourinho dropped him after that. He thought, right, you can get the record, and then I'm going to drop you to the bench after that. So he got the record, but the most ironic moment for me, iconic, was that overhead kick goal against Manchester City. I mean, oh my goodness me, that was just something else. That really was. And what happened, I was watching that game in the pub. I had to go to the loo. I bloody missed the goal line, didn't I? Couldn't fucking believe it. But I knew that Manchester United scored because I heard the crowd cheering. And the Man City fan was like, oh shit, Man United had just scored. But yeah, that will forever be iconic to me. Another one of my favourites, Edwin van der Sar. I mean, I loved Peter Schmeichel as well, but I experienced Edwin van der Sar more in the early 2000s. What a quality goalkeeper. I mean, just made some fantastic saves. Yeah, just Edwin van der Sar. What a goalkeeper. And obviously, I do hope he's doing okay, because recently he had a hemorrhage on the brain, but thankfully he is doing better now these days. So let's hope he carries on with his recovery in a positive way. Another one of my favourites has to be Robin Van Persie. Oh my goodness me. I absolutely loved Robin Van Persie. Number 20. He is the reason why we won our 20th league title. Was because literally in the 2012-2013 season, we were a one-man team. Honestly, scoring all these goals. I mean, he was injury-free all year. He only picked up a mini-injury was when he went into the advertise hoarding in his first season. And then a couple seasons after that, he got a bit unlucky with injuries. So his first season, he was absolutely amazing. And that goal he scored against Aston Villa the night we won our 20th league title, that second goal was just absolutely out of this world. Honestly, I loved every second of it. And another one of my favourites has to be who left recently after 12 years. And you know who that is? David De Gea. I absolutely loved David De Gea. I can remember so many Manchester United fans were criticising him in his early days, and he became one of the most loved players in the football club. Well, bar in the last couple of years, of course, when fans started to criticise him, but during his best years, you couldn't wish a much better goalkeeper. Honestly, I loved David De Gea. Just one of my favourites. And last but not least, a player who had 2 sails at the club, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, who will forever be, until he retires, my goat. I mean, in his prime years, just watching him dance around, nutmegging players, kind of reminds me of Garnacho now, these days, when Ronaldo was in his prime. The movement, the goals he scored. I mean, in his first spell, he was in top class. And first season back in his second spell, I don't care what anyone says, we would have been in the worst position if it wasn't for him that season. He was on absolute fire when we literally had one of the worst seasons in our lives in Manchester United. But yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo forever will be my favourite player. So, yep, that is my favourite Manchester United players of all time. Let me know down below who are your favourite Manchester United players of all time. there's been nothing but negative talk recently about Manchester United, so I want to spice things up a bit and remember how I started supporting this team and why there are still good times at this football club. As I said, comment your thoughts down below, I will always reply. And yeah, but if you are a Manchester United fan, hit that subscribe button to see more Manchester United videos. Bye bye!